Okay, so by the looks of it, I'm sure you guys know what we're doing today. We're doing a massive blush declutter. Thank you guys so much for the love that you guys showed on my eyeshadow declutter. But today we're going to be doing a blush declutter. I have them all laid out. I tried to categorize them just a little bit when I was organizing. Okay, I tried to open some of them so you can kind of see what's in there. But we're going to start in no particular order. So we're going to start with my Charlotte Tilbury blush. This one is actually in the shade Pillowtalk. I actually have two of these. This is probably the one that I've gotten the least use out of. I actually much prefer the shade Ecstasy, which looks like this, which is so weird because you would think that I would prefer Pillowtalk just because it is a little bit deeper. So this on the right side is Ecstasy, on the left side is Pillowtalk. Honestly, they're both pretty good. They're both pretty radiant blushes. But you can see it's kind of more of like a nudie. And then right here we have the shade Ecstasy, which as you guys can see is more pink. Honestly, I like them both. I'll probably be keeping both of them. So because of the price tag as well, I'll definitely be keeping these. So honestly, those two kind of remind me of my Buxom blushes. So we have these two Buxom blushes, kind of similar to the Charlotte Tilbury ones because these are radiant finishes. Okay, so we have Dolly and Seashells from Buxom, and then we have Pillowtalk and Ecstasy from Charlotte Tilbury. As you guys can see, the finishes are honestly really similar, and these two are actually really similar shades. So if you're looking for like a more affordable version of the Charlotte Tilbury, I would say go with the Buxom ones because they're basically the same finish. So all four of these are going to be keeps in my collection. So I have this from Pixie. This is actually the glowy powder in Rose Dew. This is basically like a really vibrant, almost super vibrant blush topper, I would say. I don't know if you guys can see, but that reflect is really nice. It's kind of like a warm pink, almost kind of like Orgasm from NARS. But this is super pretty if you're on the hunt for a drugstore blush or like blush topper highlighter situation. I was actually going to declutter this, but I think I'm going to keep it because after that swatch, I will be keeping this in my collection. I will say though that Pixie blush is definitely on the glittery side. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm trying to get it off, but it is pretty glittery. It's not really like a finely milled kind of formulation. So if you don't like glitter on the cheeks, you probably won't like that. So these two, I mean, this, you guys have seen me use non-stop for the past year. This is Let's Go Party by Youthforia, and then this is the original shade that I actually recently picked up in just the green version, which is like the chemical reaction pH adjusting one. These basically both adjust to being pink, like a very vibrant pink. I do feel like the formulation is different. I don't know if that's just me, but I prefer this one. This one is new to me. I've only used it once, so I might have to give it another shot, but also I didn't know. But you can literally stack these together because of the packaging. So this is actually the Orgasm palette from NARS. I'm sure you guys can see the shades in here. They're all very luminous and dewy. I believe this is limited edition. I don't think you can get this anymore. Yeah, it's the Endless Orgasm palette, and I think they come out with one of these like every year. I swatched it from left to right in this order. I'm sure you guys can see that, but actually the shades in here are really nice. I think the only shade I probably won't get use out of is the bottom, the second to last shade, just because that one seems to be very like pearly and I don't really go for that. But like, look at this shade. This is like so unique, nothing that I have in my collection. This is super pretty. It's definitely giving orgasm, and this one's a little bit cooler, which I don't have anything like that either. So I was gonna declutter, but I think I'm gonna keep this, especially because it's limited edition. You can't get it anymore. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm or Ipsy. This is actually from Icon London. Yes, Icon London. As you guys can see, you have these really gorgeous shades. I think why I don't reach for this a ton is because these are pretty much like matte on the face, and I don't really like that. I'll probably pass it along because I feel like it's really good for like a starter, you know, like a beginner in makeup. So this one is actually newer to my collection. This is from NARS. This is the NARS Orgasm blush, and I've actually never seen this packaging before. I think it's because mine, like my old one, used to be in the traditional like black NARS packaging. what I really like about NARS and Orgasm specifically is that it is a pink, but it has like this really nice warm undertone, kind of making it peachy, and it's so pretty, so I cannot wait to dive into this more. I got these new Bare Minerals blushes from Bare Minerals, obviously. I tried this one in a video. This one is brand new. This one is so pretty, so I'll go ahead and link it, but I really like it, so I'm going to be keeping this. I haven't swatched this or touched this yet. It's also a little bit boring. It's in the shade Peachy Keen, so I do think that I am going to be, I'll be keeping this and decluttering this and giving it to one of my friends or family members. I did get a comment in a recent video asking what do I do with items I don't want, and definitely different things. If it's old, I'll just go ahead and toss it, but if it's new, I will go ahead and pass it along to a friend or a family member who wants it, and usually I can find someone willing to take it because makeup is expensive, so I'd rather just pass it along to someone I know that's going to use it. But yeah, I mean, there are also women's shelters that do take cosmetic donations, so if you want to donate anything, you can look for those in your area, but usually by the time I ask my friends and my family, all the makeup is gone and I don't have anything to give. Okay, so I have these two Laura Mercier blushes. I mean, obviously one is super smashed, and this one actually is super pretty. This is the shade Berry or Very Berry. I get a ton of use of this one. This one is definitely more of like a peachy shade that's almost like a little bit too peachy for me. But I find that if I'm going for like a subtle blush look, I can make it work. So I think I'm going to end up keeping these. Obviously, if this wasn't shattered, I would give it away. I mean, I could totally repress this, but we'll see. From Rare Beauty, we have the Melting Blush in Nearly Neutral. Because I have the Rare Beauty liquids, I just don't really get a ton of use out of this one anymore, just because I prefer the liquid formula in this, but this is also really nice. And honestly, it's really unique once you get in there and start like melting it. It's a really pretty neutral shade as well. So this is actually about to be an empty. This is my Ilia Color Haze Multi-Use Pigment. It's almost finished. I'll probably be using this a ton within the next month or two because I want to finish it. And it's almost like drying out, which is honestly so annoying. Let me see. It's like hard to squeeze out. I don't know. I think it's a packaging issue. But it's a really nice neutral shade. And once it's on the face, it looks so pretty. It's like, I would say kind of more like a satin finish. It's not overly dewy and it's not overly matte. And it kind of is more tacky, so it really like sticks around for a long time. But I would recommend these if you're interested. From Benefit, we have the Hula Desert Retreat Duo. It's a bronzer and a blush, so that's why I included it. We have the shade Terra in here, which Terra is a really nice, kind of deeper mauve-y shade, but it's really pretty. I mean, honestly, I think you guys can see. I don't know. I don't want to declutter this because I feel like I don't have a ton of Benefit blushes in my collection, so I'll keep this, but it is pretty similar to a lot of my other mauve blushes. Probably one of my favorite formulas. This is the Merit Blush Bomb, Beverly Hills Cheeky, and Terracotta. I really love Terracotta. I get so much use out of this one. So Terracotta is a really nice neutral blush, which you'll see I have a few of them I'm about to show you guys. But I love neutral blushes because I can double them as like a, you know, as a bronzer, as a blush, and it looks very natural on my skin tone. Then we have the shade Cheeky. I actually almost picked up more of these for the Sephora sale, but decided not to. And then we have the shade Beverly Hills. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really do like the component. This one is definitely like a true everyday kind of blush on me, but I really like the formula and I like the component. So Benefit Benetint, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this isn't my favorite formula, especially when it comes to liquid. I just feel like these tend to remove the makeup underneath, so I think if you're someone who doesn't wear foundation, this probably will look better on you. I'm actually thinking, I think I'll declutter Benetint, which I know is crazy, everyone loves this one, but honestly my Etude House water tint is so much better than this, so I'm gonna declutter this. Between Flora Tint and Cha Cha Tint, I actually think I'm gonna declutter Cha Cha Tint And I think I'm just going to keep Flora Tint because it is a little bit more unique. And I find out of all the formulas, this one is actually the best. So I'm going to keep this one and declutter the other two. From Danessa Myricks, we have this, which is honestly so good. I have an entire dedicated video on this, and you guys, this makes your skin look so blurred, especially like your cheek area. If you have texture, acne, anything like that, you should pick this up. I actually want to pick up more of these. Again, I'm kind of on a blush no buy because I have so many, but I will pick up more of these in a heartbeat because this is such a unique formula. It really does blur the skin, blur the pores. This is like a more plummy shade, perfect for fall. I have the shade Dancing Queen and I really like this. I have a video on it, I'll link it. Okay, so this is newer to my collection. It's from Yensa and love Yensa's packaging, very cute. You can actually find Yensa at Nordstrom in case you're wondering. It's honestly a brand that I feel like, I don't know, some beauty YouTubers that I follow have been talking about them and actually just got added to the PR list. I have tried a few things prior to that, but they are really, really good quality. This shade is like really perfect for fall. It's like a really nice neutral tone, warm kind of blush, and it's in the shade Ginger Blaze, which I mean is so pretty. Also, when it comes to this formulation, it is a cream blush, but it's not as dewy or luminous as my other cream blushes. So this is actually the blush that started my love for neutral blushes. This is actually from Patrick Ta, and it's in shade She's So LA. It is so perfect. Again, I can double it as a bronzer, as a blush. I can do a lot with this. We have the Half Magic blush in the shade Magic Brownie. I love this. This is an interesting formula. It is kind of like a, I don't know, kind of like a gel, like squishy kind of formula. But as you guys can see, it's a really pretty warm tone. And I don't know how they did the formulation with this, but I really like it. It is super easy to work with, very blendable on the cheeks. And I'm looking forward to picking up more from this brand because it has really sold me, especially with the cheek products. It's also compostable, good for the environment, really fun and different, which I feel like we needed in the beauty space because everything was starting to look the same, and she did a good job with this. So I actually have a repeat. We have the Tarte blush in the shade Party, and I have two of them. One of them is new and one of them is old. This is the one that I've been using because it's older, and then this is like a newer version, which is, you know, the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. These are pretty good. They're not my favorite formula, but they're not the worst. Definitely get the job done, but I'll be passing along one and keeping one. So I was actually super excited for these. I placed my order so fast when these came out. These are actually the Divine Duo from McGrath. So this is Paradise Glow. And then the pinky, like this one, is Venetian Sunrise. So out of these two, honestly, they're two completely different shades, so I can't really tell you which one I prefer. They pretty much perform the exact same way. Pick one shade to use alone, or you can swirl them together. I tend to swirl them together. This one is more of like a red tone blush, and this one is definitely like a baby pink, but they're both really pretty, and I will be keeping them. No surprise to you, it's from Rare Beauty. It is the liquid blush. I have the shade Hope and the shade Believe. I have an entire video demoing these, trying them on, letting you guys know my thoughts. Definitely can say it's been a few months, like probably almost a year since that video, and Hope gets the most use. This one will be good for the fall, winter months, but Hope is definitely my favorite. If you're going for any shade, go for Hope. Milk Makeup, we have their blushes. We have the shade Work, and we have the shade Quickie. So this is Quickie and this is Work. Quickie is obviously a plum. And you guys know they have really made these so small over the years. Apparently better packaging, but also they have downsized the size of the product. These are good. They're pretty good. I mean, I prefer this one over the darker shade. They're not bad. I just don't know why I don't use them. I think it could be the component, but they're not bad. I mean, they're good blushes. If you want them, get them. They're just not really a standout in my collection, I would say. Then we have from Persona. This is a newer blush to me, and probably something that has really stolen the show. I love the shade of this. It's the Persona blush in the shade Caramel. This is going to be featured in an upcoming favorites video because I love it that much. But I really like these. I can't wait to try more from the brand. It's a really good powder blush. Like, it still looks a little bit luminous on the face, but not overly luminous, and it's just super easy to work with. Pigmented and buildable, you need to try. So we have from Patrick Ta, we have the shade She's That Girl, which you guys know already. I love the formula, and I will be keeping this because it's my favorite. I feel like this is super iconic. This is from Winky Lux. It's in this rose packaging, and this is a really nice different shade that I don't own. It's kind of like a reddish, but like kind of like cool tone red blush, which is so unique, and I will be keeping this as well. I also just got some new things from Winky Lux, and they have really good quality products for an affordable price. So then we have my Kaja stack, which I'm sure you guys have seen this. I have the shade Dolce Cappuccino. The first one is the blush. It's like a really nice kind of like dusty rose color, which I really love. And then the rest of the stack, we have this shade, which is actually a little bit too dark for me for a highlighter, but still really nice. And then we have a cream bronzer, so I like this for traveling. This is actually a newer cream blush to my collection. I got this in the shade Blush Lily because I don't know if you guys remember, I'm sure you guys probably know, like on TikTok and Instagram, these kind of baby pink, really light pink blushes have been all the rage. I was super into it for a minute, but then I stopped using it because I realized I'm not sure I even like baby blushing pinks on me, but you know, I have it. This is a really good formula, super pigmented. Kind of like Rare Beauty, honestly, in the sense of like it's very pigmented, but Juvia's Place is pretty affordable. You can find them at Ulta, and they're always on sale, and they're really quality stuff. I would like to pick up more shades in this line, but right now I only have Blush Lily, and honestly this has been kind of on and off sold out because of the popularity, but it is a good one. So I raved about this a lot, especially in the summer months. This is from Urban Decay. It's the Hydromaniac blush in the shade Wrecked. And this one is definitely a very hydrating blush, like very hydrating. You do not like looking dewy and shiny, you're not gonna like this. But you can even see like in the swatch, it's more so dewy than it is opaque, even though it is pretty opaque. But honestly, this looks so fire on the cheeks. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. This is so pretty, and I love this formula. Like, kind of came out of nowhere and really surprised me, but I really like this one. From Benefit, we have the blush in the shade Krista. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I mean, I do like it. It's a good formula. It just doesn't get used in my collection. The shade Krista is really nice. It's very vibrant. It is very pink. A little bit shimmery. Let's see if I can swatch it. Yeah, you could see it there. I think I'm gonna actually pass this along because it's honestly pretty much new. I think I've maybe used this twice. From Honest Beauty, actually, this is a blush and it's in the shade Rose Pink. Again, another mauvey, dusty, rosy color. Nothing new for me. I need to stop buying colors like this, but this is actually really good and a really nice affordable blush. I'll be keeping it because I do want to keep some more affordable items in my collection, just because when I film videos and stuff, it gives you guys options, and this is a really good brand. Like, they use pretty clean ingredients and I do like them. As you can see, it's a really nice color. I feel like I talk about this every single fall. It's my favorite shade. It's from NARS. It is in the shade Taj Mahal. As you guys can see, it is a really nice tangerine color, but it has some really nice gold reflect in it. If you have tan skin, if you have deeper skin, you're really gonna love this. But I think even if you have lighter skin, you'll like this because it's very unique. You cannot get this on Sephora's website. You can actually get it on the NARS website, and I want to say Nordstrom also sells it on their website. I think that's where I got mine. So we're getting into some hot pink, baby pink territory. This is actually volume 4 from Juvia's Place, and this was honestly one of my most used blushes for a while. I love mixing these together. I love using it alone. I love the shade at the top here. From ColourPop, actually, last year I picked up the Heart Blush. This is actually in the shade Text Me. I had 2 of these, but these are so, like, so delicate that I almost wouldn't recommend it because of how delicate it is. But my first one shattered, so I had to throw it away. But oh my god, You cannot travel with that at all, but these two are very similar. The ColourPop one is a little bit warmer and this one's a little bit more cool, but they're both affordable and they're both really pigmented, so I'd recommend both of them. One of my favorite blushes, and has been for the longest time, probably the only blush I've ever fully finished up. This is actually a new one. It's in the shade Saucy, and it's from Kaja. It is actually the Cheeky Stamp blush. Honestly works best if you dip your beauty blender in there and put it on the face. So pretty and just so fun. Really, really nice looking on the face. This is actually an Ilia mini that I picked up for my birthday gift at Sephora this year. Again, we have another mauvey dusty pink. It's in the shade At Last. It's a multi-stick, but it is a mini. It's new in my collection, so I'll be keeping it, especially for travel. So this summer, Lawless launched a watermelon collection because, like I said, we all know that this kind of pink was all the rage in the summer. And I mean, I really like this one. It's just extremely glittery. So if you're not into glittery stuff, you're probably not gonna like it, but it is really pretty and really pigmented. I would say the component feels a little cheapy because it's not like weighted at all, but it's still not bad. It's in the shade Watermelon. I think I'm gonna pass this along actually because I have a lot of shades like this. I feel like I keep saying that these are my favorite, but this one was actually so used in my collection at one point. This is the Double Day Lip and Cheek Blush. The top one is in Rendezvous and the bottom one is in Swipe. But the top one is so pretty. This is such a good cream blush formula. And it also comes with like a balm thing that you can also use, which I don't know why you would want to, but this is a good cream blush formula. Then from Makeup by Mario, we have the blush stick in the shade Raspberry. Oops, that's the brush side. Honestly, the packaging of this feels so cheap. But the blush itself is so pretty, so easy to use. I mean, I haven't really got a ton of use out of this, but really nice for the summer. Probably be reaching for this next summer when I need a vibrant blush. Okay, from MAC, we have the Rosy Cheeks Extra Dimension Blush. I love this. I picked this up myself because I wanted it so bad. But as you guys can see, it is that cool pink color again, but it is kind of more of like a highlighter formula, super in your face. So pretty on the cheeks. I want to pick up more of these. Definitely in like more subdued colors, like maybe like a peach or something. Alright, then we have my e.l.f. Putty Blushes, last but not least. Honestly, not my favorite formula. Like, let's just be real. It's definitely not my favorite. Don't get a ton of use out of it. I have 3 mattes and 1 shimmer. If I'm being real, I think I'm going to declutter this shade because I don't use this one at all. I think that I will probably be giving this one away because it is really pretty, but again, I have a lot of shades like this, so I'm gonna just pass it along. I think I'll probably keep these two just because this one is like the Radiant formula, which I feel like is actually pretty nice and different. It's also the newer one that I have, so maybe we'll give it a go, see if I actually like it, get use out of it. And then we have this shade, which is, you know, just kind of like a matte terracotta color. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep these two and pass along the rest. Not a ton, but I do think these are going to be some really good blushes to pass along to people because these are honestly all really good in their own way, and I think a lot of people will get use out of this more than I will. So it looks like we're decluttering 11 blushes out of my collection, which actually, you know, for as big as my collection is, I think that's actually pretty good.